Hello, I'm your reader Mary, here with you today, Tuesday, May 13th, with the New Bedford Standard Times. Let's start with the weather. Today we'll have some sun, clouds coming in, high of 70, low of 51. Wednesday will be mostly cloudy and breezy, high of 68 and a low of 59. Thursday we'll get some showers, high of 68 and a low of 58. Friday some clouds with a stray shower, high of 72 and a high of 57, and Saturday we'll have some rain and a thunderstorm. Let's check out the front page. Ocean-inspired art. Business owners bring a love of crafts to the Kilburn Mill studio. Jessica Glossop and Andrea Costa are the co-owners of these two crafty chicks in the Kilburn Mill in New Bedford. These two crafty chicks have a common interest in epoxy, and they know how to show it. Jessica Glossop and Andrea Costa were introduced through a mutual friend around COVID time and hit it off right away. They would communicate with each other and share craft ideas before meeting up. They both worked with epoxy resin, so they started sharing ideas. Epoxy resins can be used for various crafts, and at these two crafty chicks, Costa and Glossop make all kinds of creations in their classes in their new studio on the first floor at 35A Kilburn Mill, 127 West Rodney French Boulevard in New Bedford. They each had their own businesses and both had been crafting before joining forces. I was tired of lugging all my belongings around the various craft fairs in the area, Costa said. Things would get lost in transit, and so it was a little bit of a nuisance. And I was like, we should just do retail. Costa was traveling to a studio where they were charging quite a bit for an upfront cost. Glossop stopped in at Kilburn Mill on a whim one day. They talked, and she suggested that they split the rent for mill space on the third floor. They've since moved to the first floor. Classes are on weekdays and weekends. Now, Costa and Glossop offer as many classes as they want. They typically schedule classes at different times and try to offer 2 weekday classes and weekend classes. Epoxy resin is the main media we work with, and we teach individuals how to create the ocean waves on various items, including cutting boards and trinket trays. Glossop said we have a glass of wine class and a tray class. We offer crushed glass epoxy frames and a class as almost anything you see here. Glossop said runs kid-friendly sea glass Sunday classes that are part puzzle, part do-it-your-way, that's hands-on and creative with all kinds of idea books that can help inspire their creations. She said they always enjoy their creations after any initial hesitation about their creativity. That's part of our purpose, she said. We want you to actually leave here feeling more comfortable than when you came in with using epoxy. It might feel like a lot of information, but that's what we're looking for. We'll also be focusing on introducing more projects for kids this summer. We hand-pick sea glass throughout the South Coast, and I don't buy any sea glass, which is cool and fun, Glossop said. Makes it a little bit more special. Ocean creations using epoxy have proven to be the most popular at Two Crafty Chicks. They include crushed glass art frames, door signs, and sea glass succulents. Costa said they encourage their customers to jump right in, ask questions, and feel comfortable with what they create. At the end of the class, their customers take their projects home, or they can leave them in the studio to cure and be picked up later. Costa has started reaching out to restaurants to offer classes on locations, as they both like to change things up and have been working with the Neskentucket Bay Winery in Fairhaven. Adding more venues has become a goal at this point, so we can have on-site classes, and the restaurant may offer a small appetizer or a drink, Glossop said. It's also a change of scenery. Glossop said they appreciate their customers and love to see new faces be confident and creative in class. They also try to accommodate requests for classes. Customers can book private parties and birthday parties. Costa even booked a family reunion. Highest paid employee in Fairhaven made $227,467. The list of Fairhaven's top 20 paid town employees for 2024 includes 14 police officers, 3 members of the fire department, school department members, and administrators. The numbers were taken from the 2024 Fairhaven Town Report. The salaries listed reflect the employees' gross earnings for the calendar year. The fire department earnings reflect all earnings, including regular, off-duty, paid time, overtime. 3 of the police officers on the list retired in 2024. The 2023 list included 13 police officers. The top 20 for 2023 included 13 police officers, 4 members of the fire department, 2 school department members, and the town administrator. The top 20 list for 2022 included 11 police department members, 5 fire department members, 2 members of the school department, the town treasurer, and the public works superintendent. Members of the police department make up the 2024 list's top 4. The top 3 were members of the police department on the 2023 list. The number 20 salary was $147,695.26, and the highest salary in Fairhaven in 2024 was $227,467.74. The range from the highest to lowest in Fairhaven in 2023 in the top 20 was between $215,160.83 and $141,716.17. That compares with the highest to lowest of $189,309.62 to $130,065.20 in Fairhaven in 2022 in their top 20. The full list of Fairhaven's 2024 top 20 includes Michael Myers, $227,467.74, police chief, retired. Kevin Swain, $225,199.50, police. Michael Bouvier Jr., $211,000, $320.99, police. David Sobral, $205,246.13, police, retired. Angeline Ellison, $201,321.32, town administrator. Tara Kohler, $195,188.63, school superintendent. Zachary Vieira, $193,749.90, police. Daniel Dorgan, $187,425.39, police. Todd Carrera, $186,228.25, fire chief. Andrew Dillon, $182,343.21, police. Kevin Kobza, $179,362.59, police, retired. Joy Nichols, $179,082.10, fire. Paul Corriera, $173,963.49, fire. Scott Joseph, $167,078.01, police. Scott Jordan, $165,646.07, police. Scott Coelho, $160,589.62, police. Matthew Potello, $152,152.38, police. Frank Sesnick, $148,138.24, police. Mark Bellistracchi, $147,882.87, school. And finally, Alexander Silva, $147,695.26, police. In our final front page story, release delayed for man arrested by ICE in New Bedford. The Guatemalan man whose violent arrest in New Bedford by ICE was caught on video faces a new hearing, though the case was dismissed May 8th when the Department of Homeland Security failed to submit a charging document. Attorney Ondine Galvez Sniffen represents Juan Francisco Mendez, 29. He was pulled from his car April 14th after ICE agents smashed a window to his car, which was caught on video by his wife, Mary Lou. Sniffen has said that Mendez has no record, and it may have been a case of mistaken identity. His wife has asylum status, which provides him with legal benefits they had been working on obtaining prior to the arrest. Sniffen said standard procedure was followed May 8th by Judge Donald Ostrom, U.S. Immigration Court in Chelmsford, when he dismissed the case after the government failed to provide the charging document. But, she said, the judge, in his wisdom, continued a bond hearing where Mendez could be released on bail on May 15th anyway, in case there was a, quote, glitch, and Mendez was still in jail at that time. The glitch materialized on May 9th. Sniffen said Mendez should have been released after the May 8th dismissal. She tried contacting the Department of Homeland Security on May 9th to arrange the release, but didn't get a response. By that afternoon, attorney Ryan P. Sullivan, who also represents Mendez, had filed a motion for immediate release with the U.S. District Court Judge Joseph N. LaPlante for the District of New Hampshire. It was denied. Sullivan had previously filed a habeas petition with that court, and Judge LaPlante ordered immigration officials to provide 72 hours' notice before transferring Mendez anywhere. The judge denied the motion to release on May 9th. The government argued it hadn't been given an opportunity to counter-argue. They said the May 8th hearing wasn't valid because it was held under Menendez's incorrect identification number, or A for alien number. It's used by immigration until a person becomes a citizen. Sniffen added, mind you, it was their mistake. A new hearing has been scheduled for May 22nd back in the U.S. Immigration Court. However, there's still a continued bond hearing on May 15th. Sniffen said she called the court and tried to get the cases combined. They said no. They said one was a bond hearing and the other was to determine if there's a case. So we're going to confront the same garbage they confronted on May 8th. DHS has still not filed a charging document for the May 22nd hearing. They did the same thing again. They just asked the court to schedule a hearing. It's scheduled, and they have not filed a charging document again. Mendez is not charged with anything, she said. They're holding him without having filed a single document. He's still held by the County Department of Corrections in Dover, New Hampshire. She hopes their argument will be heard May 15th and remove the need for a May 22nd hearing, but she doesn't know. She said the maneuvering seemed retaliatory. This is what you get for opening your mouth. I think that's what they're doing. They're punishing my client because this got media attention nationwide, Sniffen said. An ICE spokesman referred requests for comment to the U.S. Department of Justice, which has not responded. Our obituary is for Angelina J. Robillard of New Bedford, affectionately known as Angie, passed away on May 10th, 2025, surrounded by family after a brief illness at the age of 90. Born on May 1st, 1935, Angie was the beloved daughter of the late Silva and Angelina Davignon. She's predeceased by her husband, Walter Robillard. She was a graduate of St. Anthony High School, class of 1953. She dedicated her career to the local textile industry, working diligently as a stitcher. She was a devoted family woman and is survived by her 3 daughters. She found joy in gardening, cooking, and reading outside on her porch and swing. She treasured the moments spent with her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. She was a woman of faith and a parishioner at the Joseph St. Therese Church, attended daily Mass at St. Gabriel, the Archangel Parish, and she would frequently walk to and from services. Visiting hours will be held on Wednesday, May 14th, from 4 to 7 at Rock Funeral Home, 1285 Ashley Boulevard, New Bedford. Her funeral will be held on Thursday, May 15th at 9 a.m. from the funeral home, followed by a funeral mass at 10 a.m. in St. Gabriel the Archangel Parish, 343 Tarkland Hill Road, New Bedford. The burial will be at Sacred Heart Cemetery, and for online tributes, please visit www.rock-funeralhome.com. Let's dive into the paper. Man found guilty of murdering parents out of Brockton. A 25-year-old man was found guilty of fatally stabbing his parents in their Middleborough home in 2020. Plymouth County District Attorney Timothy Cruz announced that in a press conference. Ryan True, 25 of Middleborough, was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder in Brockton Superior Court following a 7-day jury trial. Cruz said on Thursday, May 8th. A first-degree murder charge in Massachusetts is punishable with up to life in prison without the possibility of parole, according to state law. True's sentence is scheduled for Friday, May 9th. True surrendered himself to Middleborough police on December 10th, hours after he stabbed his parents, Renee True and David True, inside their Middleborough home, according to police. Earlier that morning, the Middleborough police responded to the home, located at 3 Highland Street, to conduct a well-being check after both parents' employers reported they did not show up for work. Upon arrival, officers located their bodies. Both victims sustained multiple stab wounds and had been left in the home covered in blankets, police said. Ryan True later returned to the crime scene and surrendered himself to police. True told police he and his father got into an argument the night before his parents' bodies were discovered, and the stabbing was an act of self-defense. Police said there was no evidence that True's injuries, which he received during the stabbings, were as the result of self-defense. True's half-brother also told police that True had been having a tough time with his parents and refused to take medication. True was held without bail following his arraignment and sent to Bridgewater State Hospital for mental health evaluation, where he was deemed incompetent to stand trial. As recently as July 2024, True remained hospitalized and was still deemed incompetent to stand trial, with a tentative trial date of October 7, 2024. It was not immediately clear, as of Friday, May 9, 2025, when True was transferred from that hospital and deemed competent to stand trial. Second location for New Beige is headed to the New Bedford Pier. Taking a ferry into or out of New Bedford will soon be an exciting and tasty experience. New Beige Restaurant, celebrating 1 year in business, is opening a new pop-up location at the Sea Streak Ferry Terminal. Newcomers to New Bedford will get their first taste of the area as soon as they get off the ferry. The restaurant, led by Chef Joe Rigo, winner of Food Network's Chopped in 2012, is a unique combo of restaurant dining, coffee counter, and grab-and-go market. According to one of the general managers for New Beige, Ariana Souza, the second location will be offering their popular grab-and-go items. Ferrygoers will be able to take empanadas, skewers, sandwiches, salads, and desserts with them as they explore the area. During the weekends, from Friday through Sunday, Grandma's Donuts will be added to the mix with fresh donuts, coffee rolls, linguica rolls, and muffins. New Beige has also partnered with Truffles by D and Union Java to bring their decadent truffles and coffee both to the restaurant and to the pop-up. We're hoping this new space is more than just a place to eat. It's part of a broader effort to bring new energy and foot traffic to downtown New Bedford, said Souza. By welcoming both locals and ferry travelers, we hope to not only share our passion for coastal cuisine, but also encourage visitors to explore and support the many outstanding businesses that make this area so vibrant. Over the next couple of weeks, equipment and furniture will be set up at the new location at 49 State Pier, New Bedford. According to Souza, they hope to be bringing all of your favorites to the waterfront by the week of May 22nd. Until then, you can visit the flagship restaurant at 39 Union Street, New Bedford. Nomination papers are available for the 2025 election. The Board of Election Commissioners has announced the municipal election calendar for 2025. According to a city announcement, nomination papers for city offices will be available starting May 13th in the election office, room 114, cell 33 Street. The office is open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Candidates must sign up and will receive an information packet with important dates and nomination papers. Before obtaining nomination papers, candidates must sign a statement with their name, address, and the office they seek. If someone other than the candidate is securing papers, they must present a signed authorization. The preliminary election is scheduled for October 7th, and the municipal election will take place on November 4th. New Bedford voters will vote for assessor at large, school committee, councilors at large, and ward councilors. For more information, contact Elections Commissioner Manuel DeBrito at 508-979-1420. Consumer advocates condemn firings. Say child safety could be at risk after CPSC commissioners are ousted. President Donald Trump has fired 3 of 5 commissioners. The Democrats appointed the bipartisan independent U.S. Consumer Protection Safety Commission. The 3 CPSC commissioners, as well as consumer advocates, say the firings are illegal since Congress established the agency, which oversees safety standards for products, so it's not under the president's control. They're vowing to fight for what they say is the safety of American consumers. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters on May 9th that Trump could fire any staffers within the executive branch. He has the right to fire people within the executive branch, Leavitt said. It's a pretty simple answer. The removals come as the Trump administration has fired or tried to fire other commissioners of independent agencies, such as the Federal Trade Commission and Federal Election Commission. CPSC's future has been in question in recent weeks as consumer advocates sounded an alarm when they saw a proposal by the Trump administration to eliminate the agency and put the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services in charge of overseeing the safety of more than 15,000 types of consumer products. That move would make an independent commission created by Congress and put under a government agency, which the advocates say is not legal. It would allow short-term political pressures and influences from corporations to get in the way of safeguards, representative of the consumer groups said during a media briefing April 30th and in a previous interview with USA Today. This dangerously misguided proposal would leave American families at greater risk in their own homes. It would take critical data-driven safety rules that protect babies, children, and adults nationwide and immediately expose them to political whims. That's a quote from William Wallace, Consumer Reports Director of Safety Advocacy. The 5 commissioners are appointed by the President with the advice and consent of the Senate, but no more than 3 commissioners can be affiliated with the same party. 2 of the commissioners, Richard Trumka and Mary T. Boyle, say they received emails on May 8th that their roles as commissioners were terminated, effective immediately. A 3rd commissioner, Alexander Hohensarik, also a Democratic appointee, said on May 9th he had not received an email. However, acting CPSC chairman Peter Feldman has, quote, locked me out of the agency and is preventing me from performing my duties. Hohensarik said the other commissioners were fired after they refused to let the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, representatives enter the CPSC offices in Washington, D.C. The DOGE representatives were at the offices on May 9th. Hohensarik said during a news conference that day with Trumka and other several politicians and consumer advocates. Trumka said he and the other commissioners were fired by the president for keeping Americans safe and fighting for workers' rights. If this agency is controlled and gutted by DOGE, everyday Americans won't be able to trust that the products that they buy are safe, or worse yet, assume that they are and will, and find out only when someone's hurt. Efficiency is important, but eliminating the CPSC and its work is reckless, said Janet McGee, who founded Parents Against Tipovers after her 22-month-old son, Ted, died in 2016 when a dresser tipped onto him. This is not okay, and Americans should be deeply concerned about what this means for our families and our children, McGee said. Folks in their daily lives encounter the benefits of CPSC standards all the time. The CPSC ensures the safety of products that are made within the U.S. and imported from other countries, from lawnmowers to appliances to baby cribs, Wallace said. For parents especially, The CPSC has been instrumental in ensuring that many of the products that children use, such as cribs, strollers, and toys, are safe because of strong mandatory standards, Wallace said. Everybody should care about this, and this is especially serious for parents because the Consumer Product Safety Commission, whether you know it or not, plays an enormous role in keeping kids safe. The fired commissioners said they would be looking into legal action to get their jobs back. House Rep. Jan Shankowski, a Democrat from Illinois, ranking member of the Commerce, Manufacturing, and Trade Subcommittee, said she and other members of Congress would fight the illegal firing. Senator Richard Blumenthal, a Democrat from Connecticut, said he wrote Trump a letter demanding the commissioner's firings be reversed. Joining that letter were Senators Amy Klobuchar, a Democrat from Minnesota, member of the Senate Commerce Committee's Subcommittee on Consumer Protection, Maria Cantwell, a Democrat from Washington, ranking member of the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation, and Senator Ed Markey, a Democrat from Massachusetts. Earlier, Blumenthal, Shankowski, and Rep. Kevin Mullen, a Democrat from California, also sent a letter along with 21 other members of the Senate and 27 other members of the House of Representatives, calling on Russell Vogt, Director of the Office of Management and Budget, to reverse plans to eliminate the CPSC. Members of other independent boards, such as the National Labor Relations Board and the Federal Trade Commission, have filed lawsuits in federal court challenging Trump's position that he can fire any staffers within the executive branch. Those cases are making their way through the courts. A 1935 Supreme Court decision blocked then-President Franklin Roosevelt from firing members of multi-member boards, but Trump aides have said they will bring that issue back to the Supreme Court if necessary. This has been the New Bedford Standard Times, today, May 13th, 2025. I'm your reader, Mary, wishing you good health, be well, and we'll talk again next week.